Yo, what's good, ladies, gents, gears and clears? It's your boy Nomad, and today we're gonna be talking about why I love fighting games. So, if you like what you see, please don't be scared to hit the like button and subscribe. It'll really help me out a lot. I'm trying to be on my come up on this YouTube stuff because I've always wanted to be a YouTuber, but hey, I'm rambling. That's besides the point. Let's get into the video.
You are stronger than all this that made you weak. So wake up, don't sleep. Don't refuse to be free, let go. Stop this race to break all this in your mind. Take my head, join the team. Gotta let that leaves fall down. Hey, start to rise up.
You ever notice that in school, when a fight break out, everybody and they mama be like, yo, they scrapping, and they run over to the fight trying to record with their phone and see what's going on, and it's the talk of the whole school for quite a while. That's because fighting is something that has held mankind's interest since the days of old. It's in our instincts. One of the oldest sports is wrestling, and it is still being done to this very day. Watching two combatants duke it out and putting all their experience and effort from all their training and hard work is always something worthwhile. When I was just a youngin' in pull-ups, I have a distinct memory of my uncle sitting me and my cousins down around a Sega Genesis and tossing in a Street Fighter 2 cartridge. The game had me mesmerized. The colors, the flashing, the punches, kicks, the fireballs, Ryu shouting. It was something I'll never forget. I had the biggest grin on my face as I picked Ryu and mashed the buttons as fast as I could against my cousin, smiling ear to ear as I did my first Hadouken on accident, saying, "Did you see that, guys? I did a fireball!" That day, it lit a spark in me. From then on, I'd always seek a fight in video games. My cousins and I were all rivals, and we would often have small family tournaments in games like DBZ Budokai and Street Fighter 4 growing up. I never won any of those tournaments, but that didn't stop me from having fun. I didn't care if I lost. I wish more people had that mentality, but that being said, it didn't help that the only moves I could do were Ryu's Tatsu, his Hadouken, and Shoryuken. The latter of the three was an accident in most cases. Down the road, I met a friend named Zai at school, and we had become hanging out every weekend. Unlike me, Zai was as cracked at fighting games as your friend Justin is at Fortnite. I sat and I started to genuinely learn about fighting games. He introduced me to the FGC and tournaments and the esports scene, and I had no idea these things existed. I was completely blown away. The first thing I ever remember him showing me was Daigo's Evo Moment 37, where he parried Justin Wong's Super as Chun-Li. It was pretty ridiculous. And then he just began showing me different fighting game moments in history, like the Never Give Up comeback as Justin Wong. I believe it was against Yipes. It was something about that moment that reminded me of a hero's comeback in Shonen Battle manga. What caught my interest was the matches and battles, yes, but after he showed me the battles, he began telling me the story behind each player. And this is what made me fall in love with fighting games. I couldn't put my finger on it before why I loved them so much, and the combat was cool, but once I got to know that there was a player and a story behind each player and whatnot, it started to remind me of anime. And I've always had a deep love for anime since then. And watching that Justin comeback reminded me of when Gohan was Super Saiyan 2 for the first time. Everything was precise, no movement was wasted, and he was out to show the world that he could win. It was greater than the time I discovered anime. Yeah, I mean anime. Not gonna pretend like that was the only thing though. That really kept me there was the fact that fighting games are just so much cool. They're so cool. You can do so much cool shit. Do you see this combo?
Oh, Daigo Umeharaka! Umeharaka! Joy, you can.
After him showing me all these moments of fighting game history, we sat in his room on the Xbox 360 and were looking in the Xbox store. He said, "Say, bro, Street Fighter 3rd Strike or Marvel 2?" I sat there a moment and thought hard about it, but we ended up agreeing on Third Strike somewhere. This is where it all started for me. We played day in and day out. We would play Third Strike for hours upon hours upon hours. His dad would take us to the 7-Eleven after picking me up. We'd get a bunch of food and candy and just play Third Strike. It was beautiful. I mained Akuma and he mained Dudley. We would lab and constantly be learning new things against each other. We would watch matches from players like Kuroda, Tominaga, Pikachu Akuma, Maximilian Dude. It was just one of the best times in my life, and I'll never forget those moments. After my training arc was complete, I returned to my cousin as a new warrior. Royal Beast was what I went by, and Zai was known as Royal Virus. My name was kind of me paying homage to my new sensei, I guess you could say. After this, I was finally able to match and defeat my cousins. They couldn't believe the level of skill I'd obtained. I even started beating the adults in my family. My main goal was to beat my uncle, who started it all for me. We yet to have our final bout though, even though I'm 21. But I did beat all my other uncles who played the game. Sadly, my uncle, the main one that got me into Street Fighter, he doesn't play much anymore. But he did admit that I surpassed him years ago. He never told me because he saw that spark in me. He didn't want me to stop practicing. And I'm very thankful for him and the rest of my fam. Without them, I wouldn't be who I am today. It was like I actually got to live out my own little story and I felt like the main character, and it was really accomplishing. Seeing your rate of growth and being able to beat someone you couldn't before is one of the most satisfying things about playing fighting games. Nothing standing between you and your opponent but your skill and their skill. Your character and their character. Though character is like, it's not the main thing that's gonna make you win, but picking a character that's right for you is important. And this brings me to my next point. Your character becomes you, and you become your character. Now I know that sounds weird for a second, but hear me out. They're essentially your avatar, and when you make a mistake, they take the hit for it. When you punch, they punch. Fighting games are 100% left to the player. There's no team to blame, no one to blame but you. And when you lose, shake your salt, dust it off, and get better. Fighting games are often called hard, and that's the reason people don't get into them. But if this dog can do an EX Hadouken,
Holy shit!
I'm sure you can too. Your username becomes your identity in the community, along with your character. The stronger you get, the stronger players you fight. Just like in an anime, a sort of hierarchy of power is established. Top tier competitors are compared to one another. Heated debates and theories are made over who will beat this guy and how strong is this guy against this guy. Players grow stronger with each match and each training session. And the higher power of each player, the harder it is for the weaker players to understand what's going on. Kinda how like in anime, when you see two strong fighters boxing and everyone's like, yo, I can't even see them, they're on another level. It's like, comprehending the choices that the strongest player makes becomes harder while you're watching them, right? And it's so mesmerizing and exhilarating. You can't help but cheer and scream at each attack landed, at every mix-up, in every nail-biting situation. You become emotionally invested as the two players write their own stories with their controllers, sticks, and for you weirdos out there, keyboards. Fighting games made me who I am today, and I'm very thankful for them. This was Nomad with another video. I hope you guys liked. Please like, comment, subscribe. Tell me if you liked it. Tell me if you didn't like it. What are some things I could do better? This is my first time doing a scripted video like this, so in the editing, you know, and stuff like that, I'm not very good. But I hope that things work out in the future for me in this channel. So you guys have a wonderful day. Nomad out. Bye.
A person who thinks all the time has nothing to think about except thoughts. So, he loses touch with reality and lives in a world of illusions. By thoughts, I mean specifically chatter in the skull, perpetual and compulsive repetition of words, of reckoning and calculating. I'm not saying that thinking is bad. Like everything else, it's useful in moderation. A good servant, but a bad master. And all so-called civilized peoples have increasingly become crazy and self-destructive. Because through excessive thinking they have lost touch with reality. That's to say, we confuse science